Welcome back everyone to Technical Tuesday. Today's video is another swatch video. I have two more to do after this on swatches for colors as requested to swatch out all of my different stamping polishes. So today's is brown, and as previously we're going to start with all of my non-Maniology stamping polishes first, because I don't have nearly as many of other brands as I do, Maniology. So this first one is from Born Pretty, and it is named Leo, and it is also a multi-chrome stamping polish. And this kind of reminds me of Electromagnetic from Maniology, just a little bit. But it's a nice soft brown, and it shows up quite well over both white and black, though better over black than it does white. Okay. So that is the only non-Maniology brown I own. And now on to the Maniologies. Okay, so this one is Mocha Java, and it is a reddish brown metallic. And it has a finer metallic pigment, so it's more of a smooth finish and less bright. Less glittery looking, I should say. And it as most metallics, it shows up great over both black and white pretty equally. Okay, so the next on our list is Arabica, I believe is how this is said. I'm not 100% certain on how to say this. And don't mind the glue here. This is one where I kept losing the sticker off of it, and I finally got fed up and glued the sticker down with some super glue. So this one shows up great over white and okay over black. It definitely changes the color a little bit. It looks a little bit more like Down the Chimney over black, which is also in this list. But it's a nice grayish brown, has a slight gray hue to it. And it does well over both. Okay, so the next one is, well, hilariously enough, because I have them lined up over here off to the side, the next one is Down the Chimney. Which is an even more grayish brown color, and it gets even more gray looking over black than the previous one, and does well over both, though it does better over white than it does black. Okay, so this next one is Acorn, and this is a very dark brown, and I do mean dark. It is borderline black, and yeah, no, this one's a very dark brown. You can barely see it over the black. If you look closely, it is there, but you can barely see it. It is very dark. In fact, I almost missed it in the browns lineup when I was pulling the polishes out, because in the drawer with I have very little lighting in this room. The ceiling fan light does not provide a whole lot of light in this room, and it looked like it was black in the drawer, and I almost missed it until I grabbed the swatch stick and I said, "Where is this one? Why is it not in my lineup?" And had to go through the drawer again to find it. It is a very, very dark. All right. Where's my marker? I gotta fix that. My G is almost gone. Same with my B. Okay. So, yeah, it's a very dark brown. Okay, so this is Gas Lamp, and this is a very metallic-y, deep, like chocolatey brown. And it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It has a gold shimmer to it. And this is definitely one of my more favorite browns. I love me some shimmeries and metallics. But this one is quite beautiful. It came in the Steampunk MXM box last fall. Okay, this is another one of my favorite ones. And this is a more gritty, sandy color. And I believe I've used this one in my gingerbread mani around Christmas time. I believe this was one of the colors I used then. And this is Brick, and it is got some holographic pigments in it, as well as nice sparkly brown glitters, though it is mostly just a super glittery brown. It has a hint of holographic to it though. And I've heard it referred to as a sand polish plenty of times. Raisin was another one from this set, and it's the same way. This is from the same set as Raisin, and I don't remember what the third polish was in that setup. Maybe Peacock? I think it was Brick, Raisin, and Peacock. This is a weird combination. But it really was pretty. I do like it. Okay, so this next one is Boba, and oh my goodness, hold on. Gotta fix this one too. Because I can't even really read it all that well. It's worn off so much. Okay, that is another 3. Couldn't tell if it's a 3 or a 5. It wore off so bad. Okay. So this is Boba, and this is a purpley brown. It has a hint of purple to it, but it is definitely a nice dark brown. And it shows up very well over black and white, oddly enough, because despite it being so dark, it does show up well over both. Okay, so this next one in the lineup is Caramel. And this is an appropriate name. It is a very caramel colored brown, and it is quite pretty. It's a nice cream, very nice, lovely shade. And it shows up quite well over both black and white. Okay, so this next one can kind of fall between brown and orange. And with it being metallic, it's kind of hard to place. But this one is called Jack. And it is a nice, lovely orangey brown. Or borderline coppery brown. Like it does have a small coppery type hue to it. This has got the chunkier metallic pigments, so just very bright and shines beautifully over both black and white. All right, so next in the lineup is Latte. And this is another well-named one. This definitely looks like a nice coffee with a bit of cream. And I could definitely see this is like the color of a hot latte, for sure. And this one shows up very well over white and reasonably well over black. If I was to give this a grade, I would say I'd give it about a B+, A- at best. It does not show as well over black as what I would like, but it definitely shows reasonably well. Okay, so this next one definitely has some reddish hues to it. It's more of a red brown, and it is called Saddle Up. And this one does wonderfully over white and not as great over black. I don't know. I was surprised that it didn't do as well over black, considering how good of a cream it was. And is, I should say. But it did not show quite as well over black. It actually darkened it significantly and made it look more like cocoa. Okay, so this next one is called Sequoia. And this is more of a grayish brown with hints of like a mauvey purple. It definitely has some borderline mauve vibes to it. Okay, so here's the very first brown I ever got, and it came in my very first MXM box. Fix it, freaking. My marker's wearing off of my swatch sticks. So this is Chestnut, and it is a bit sheer. So it doesn't show up great over black, but it shows up wonderfully over white, and it has a light gold shimmer to it. And it is quite beautiful. But yeah, unfortunately, it does not show up well over black. Alright, so this next one is a relatively new one. It was in the camping themed, I need my marker, the camping themed MXM box. I need to refresh the 7 on here because it's almost completely worn. Almost completely worn off. Okay, this one's called S'more, and it is a nice chocolatey brown. This reminds me of milk chocolate with a shimmer. This is a metallic brown, and it shows up pretty well over both black and white. It is a very dark color, so it is not as noticeable over black, but it does show up very well over both. Good grief, all these fluffs and fuzzes stuck to my swatches. I don't know how all this happened. I guess one of my cats got into them when they were drying, when I did them originally. But yeah, no, it is definitely a nice metallic brown, about a very milk chocolate-like color. Reminds me of a Hershey bar. Okay, so this next one is called Annatto Clay, and this is also a very chocolatey colored brown, but it is not metallic. In fact, it looks a lot like s'more, just minus the metallic. What's going on with this cat? Looks like let me hear. Okay, it's fine. And I thought my cat was starting to break on me for some reason. So yes, no, this shows up actually rather well over both, though given how dark it is naturally, it's a hint darker over black than it is over white, so it's not completely opaque, but it is definitely close. Okay. So this next one is part of the Grimm's Nightfall collection, and it is called Soulless. And it is a special effect one that is more sheer. It was one of their early collections, and it is actually still available. Or at least hopefully they haven't discontinued it by the time this is released. That's kind of a scary thought because they already discontinued the plates that were released around the same time as this. So this one does great over black and does okay over white. It is meant to be over darker colors, so that is why, but it is definitely a nice color. Special effect polishes can be kind of finicky and tend to require a lot of playing with in order to figure out what works best with it and what effects they do. Okay, so this one is electromagnetic, and this is I don't even know if this is available anymore. This is an old one as well. It is not part of the Grimm's Nightfall collection, and it does well over white and black, and it is a metallic brown that is a bit of a lighter brown. Not super. It's kind of a mid-range brown, but it's not really anything else I can do to describe it. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's a nice mid-range metallic brown. It doesn't do too bad over white. It does a little better over black. Alright, so this next one could easily fall into the yellow category, but it is more of a cream and can go like side by side as, say, a heavily creamed coffee. This is coconut, and this is a staple, in my opinion, for anybody's collection. This is such a versatile color. I use it for so many different things. I was pleasantly surprised by how often I was reaching for this color. Yeah, no, I've probably got at least 4 different videos where this is a color that was used in it for many tutorials. That's how much of a staple this color is. So this is one that if you don't have in your collection, I would recommend putting in your collection. It is a very versatile polish. I cannot praise this particular color enough. It is a more sheer polish, and a lot of people complain about the fact that it is a more sheer polish, so over dark colors it tends to not look as well, but it's not super sheer, it's just not perfectly opaque. But this color itself, I'm telling you, I use it all the time. This is definitely a staple color. Okay, so this one is actually technically a gold, but it leans more to the browns. Most of my golds are in with my yellows and oranges. But this one is Gold Rush, and it has a more brown feel. So I went ahead and stuffed this in with my browns. And it is a nice, beautiful metallic gold. It's more of a brown gold, not a yellow gold. And it is quite beautiful, and it shows great over both black and white. Okay. So this next one is kind of a pinky brown, and it is called, and it's metallic, Magic Hour. It almost has rose gold vibes, to be honest. Okay. This next on the list is Cocoa, and this one shows great over white and black and does look a lot like cocoa powder. So I could definitely say that that's a very appropriate name, because this certainly reminds me of cocoa powder. Alright, this one is a bit reddish orange of a brown. It definitely fits in all three categories. This is Nutmeg, and it is a very nice, lovely shade. This one was kind of hard to place. And ultimately ended up in the browns. Does great over white, does okay over black. And given that you can see it from here, you can see that it's a little bit darker over the black than it is over the white. Alright, this one leans towards green and yellow as well as brown. This is Turmeric.
Look, on mine. Look.
Mama can't look quite this second, buddy, okay? Give Mama just one moment.
Look.
I'll look in just a moment, okay? So this one does great over both. It gives it a more green hue over the black, though. Hi, buddy. What do you want Mama to look at?
Look at it.
You're doing laps.
Doing that.
Okay, well, you were going backwards there. There you go. That's the direction you need to go. Follow the arrows. Good job, buddy. Love you. Okay. So next on this list is Python. I apologize, my youngest is home currently and he was wanting me to look at his game. He has been playing Mario Kart recently and is absolutely obsessed. So this is Python, and it also has slight rose gold vibes. It is a very heavily metallic, oh my goodness, that is just bright reflection. It leans kind of in the silver realm, leans kind of in the rose gold realm, but it also has a hint of a lighter brown. This one was another one that was relatively hard to place. It is definitely challenging, but it is very, very bright and shows great over any color. Alright, so this next one is a nice, soft, light brown metallic. It is called Snowdrift. And it's kind of like a creamy brown, light creamy brown metallic. And it's a soft metallic. It's not a bright one like Python with the big chunky metallic pieces. It's a much smoother metallic finish. And it is quite beautiful. It's very lovely for softer manis, like winter manis, hence snowdrift. Trying to think of some other things. Maybe formal occasions that require a little bit more elegancy. That would definitely go well with that. I feel like when I look at that, I think lace and weddings and that kind of thing. Much more formal occasion. All right, so this next one's kind of a grayish, pinkish brown. It is called Woolly. It has some mauvey vibes to it. And that one shows quite well over white and reasonably well over black. All right, so this next one is Dovetail, and this is a, I need to get some polish thinner in that. That is thick, thick, thick. Okay, so this one is like a mid, slightly purpley gray brown with a shimmer. And I most definitely need to add some thinner to this. This is way thicker than it should be. So before I put that away, I will do so. But this shows up quite well over both black and white. I'm going to add some thinner to this because that is way too thick and should not be that thick. It was so thick that it actually clogged up the hole when I was trying to put thinner in it. I know that seems like a lot of thinner, but this is almost a brand new bottle. And it is exceptionally thick, so I know that it's going to take quite a few drops before it's thinned out enough to be of reasonable consistency. Oh, that's much better. If anything, I could use just a couple more drops, but it's much better. So this next one is a very fleshy toned brown, and this one's called Ballet Flats. And this one shows up quite well over black and white. Very little difference, despite being a very light cream color. Okay, so this next one kind of leans in the pink and orange realm as well as brown. This is Toko Toucan, and it is a mid pinky orange type brown with a shimmer. This is a very interesting finish. Out of all the different ones I've got, this one's one of the weirdest finishes I've got. I'm not saying I don't like it. I actually do really like this color. It just is odd see if I can catch it on camera. In person, it's very odd in comparison to many of the others I've seen. I do like it. But generally, the shimmer doesn't look like bigger chunks of glitter like that in the finish of a darker color than the actual base. And that's kind of what they did with this one. It's neat, but it's an unusual finish compared to what I normally see. So it just kind of throws me off a little bit whenever I see it. I like it, but I'm not accustomed to it. Okay, and this last one is a flesh tone for sure, and its name reflects that. Its name is Skin Deep, which actually, it actually matches me a little bit there. It matches me a little bit. I wouldn't wear it as a foundation though. I don't think that would work out so well. But it is a nice flesh color, and it is one of many that are definitely more of a flesh tone in various ones that I have, but this is probably the most accurate one I've got. There's a few in here that are relatively accurate. Not a lot though. So yes, this is a flesh tone. His name's Skin Deep, and that is the last of my browns. I don't have nearly as many browns as I do other colors. I'm lacking in browns, I'm lacking in oranges and yellows. And then I've got my blacks, whites, grays swatch stick ring. I believe that'll probably be the last one I do. But yeah, no, that's all of my browns, guys. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, if you want to help this channel, you like my content, feel free to leave a like and a comment and subscribe. If you are placing an order with Maniology, go ahead and feel free to use my discount code for 10% off of everything that's not the MXM plates and the MXM box. Everything else it works on. And you guys would get 10% off of your order, and I would get a small kickback to help support the channel, being able to provide consumable items. And you know, if there's something new that you want to see, allow me to be able to purchase it. So those are all things that can help this channel. And for those of you who have already been doing that, that is greatly appreciated so much. It helps a lot. And thank you all, of course, for watching, if you've stuck with me this far. And I don't have any announcements, so I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it may be, wherever you are at while you are watching this video. And until next time, guys, bye.